Do you want to compose uplifting corporate music for stock music libraries like Pond5 and Audiojungle, and perhaps make some money from music licensing? Hello, my name is Mike and I am a composer just like you. I wish you a warm welcome to the Professional Composer Show, a show for composers with high goals and big dreams. Composers like you. Alright, let's start the show right now. How do you compose corporate music for stock music libraries like Audiojungle and Pond5? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you my top 10 guidelines for composing uplifting corporate music. It might not be your favorite style to compose and produce, but it can be a great way for you to make an income from music licensing. Let's start by playing one of my own corporate music compositions, and directly afterwards I will give you my top 10 guidelines for uplifting corporate music. Here we go. I will now share with you my top 10 guidelines on composing corporate music. But remember, these are guidelines, not rules. You don't need to follow them, but you should be aware of them. You can think of these guidelines as a good starting point when you compose your corporate music production. Tip 1. Upbeat and uplifting. Corporate music is very upbeat and uplifting in most cases. So focus on major scales and major chords. Let's say you choose the C major scale, then mainly use the 3 major chords of that scale. In this case, C major, F major and G major. And focus on light and upbeat playing styles for both the chords as well as the rhythms and melodies. Tip 2. Keep it simple. Simplicity is incredibly important for most production music used in TV, commercials, online video, etc. Simple chords, simple rhythms, simple melodies. For example, mainly using standard triad chords, a steady straight rhythm, and a melody without too many notes and movement. Your key focus for corporate music should be to simplify. Tip 3. Use light sounds. Sounds that are natural, organic and dynamic are often preferred in corporate music. Not big and massive sounds like in epic music. Not raw and distorted sounds like in heavy metal. And not sharp and edgy sounds like in EDM. No, light sounds like piano, acoustic guitar, ukulele, pluck sounds, whistling, bells, harmonics, shakers, claps, etc. Tip 4. Get straight to the point. Intros are good for artists and albums, but corporate production music needs to get straight into the main mood of the music. Basically, you need to get the drive and energy going right away. Especially if you compose corporate music for stock music libraries, where the potential buyers might just listen to the first 5 or 10 seconds of a track until they decide which one to use. Tip 5. Build the energy. In corporate music, it often works great to gradually build the uplifting vibe and energy throughout the track. For example, by introducing new elements, instruments and parts that add energy and movement for each new section. Think in terms of layering and adding, but don't make these changes feel too sudden and surprising. Gradual progression is what you want. Tip 6. Avoid low energy. Don't use long, low energy sections like breakdowns in your corporate music. Avoid thinking in terms of standard song structure. Instead, you should focus on the mood and energy during the whole track. And you should be careful of going too low with that energy anywhere in your corporate music. Because low energy is not upbeat and uplifting at all. Tip 7. Avoid high tension. Composing with tension is great for dramatic music, but not so much for corporate music. So you should avoid dissonant chords, harmonies and intervals, and stay away from any unpleasant sounds and effects. Because corporate music should have a feel-good vibe, not a sit on the edge of your seat vibe. Tip 8. Stay within the comfort zone. As a composer, I personally always want to add twists in the storyline of my music. But corporate music should not have big surprises and twists. I recommend staying within the scale you have chosen, not changing the rhythm too much during the track, and basically not making too sudden or big changes anywhere in your composition. Tip 9. Avoid busy patterns. Basically, you should focus on writing less notes for any instrument and any part, because again, corporate music should sound simple and familiar. If you really want to add more notes in any performance, I recommend that you consider using the rhythm rather than the pitch of the notes. In fact, doubling some of the notes with rhythm can help to bring out that bouncy feel that is so connected to the style of corporate music. Bouncy playing styles feel very upbeat and uplifting. Tip 10. Keep it straight. Groove, syncopation, triplets and sudden rhythmic changes should be used carefully, because corporate music should feel familiar, comfortable and upbeat. Generally, this means a steady and straight 4/4 vibe. Now let me share the latest news and updates with you. 1. You now have the chance to get your music promoted on professionalcomposers.com if you are a member and completed your member profile. So join today if you haven't already. It's 100% free to be a member. 2. I have just released a new course on how to compose uplifting corporate music. Learn the sounds, the playing styles and the vibe of corporate music, as well as watch as I demonstrate my guidelines for corporate music in action. And 3. I have written a short quick guide on writing epic music and featured some of the composer members on Professional Composers. I have also created several different playlists on my YouTube channel for different styles of music, and I will feature compositions from members of Professional Composers. So again, as a member of Professional Composers, you will get access to these kinds of promotional opportunities. Alright, you can find all the links in the description below. Now it's time to check out some sounds and gear for composers like yourself. And this time I want to recommend Clap Pack Deluxe 2, made by Loops de la Creme. It is a contact library and sample collection of claps and snaps. And as you can see here, this is indeed a massive collection. 3,960 samples, focus on claps and snaps. So let's dive into the DAW and have a look and listen to Clap Pack Deluxe 2. So first let me demonstrate some of the sounds you get with Clap Pack Deluxe 2. As you can see, you get lots of different contact presets, and each of these presets contains a different set of sounds. As you can see, binaural claps, dry claps, finger snaps, group claps, single claps, dynamic stacks, and so on and so on. So let's try out some of these sounds. Binaural claps. Dry claps. Finger snaps. Group claps. Single claps. I like that one. Dynamic stacks. And as you can see, the list goes on and on for so many types of categories of claps and snaps. Alright, so let me first show you what you get with Clap Pack Deluxe 2. Here you have the folder, you get all kinds of contact instrument presets, and of course, my favorite, you get all the samples. That's what I want from contact libraries. I want the single samples as wave samples so I can use them the way I personally like in my composing workflow, which is to simply find the sample inside a folder here and then drag and drop it into the project, either to an audio track like this. Listen first, we have the group snaps. Okay, let's say you like that. Well, then drag and drop it as an audio track like so and use it in that way. Or, as I personally like to do it, is to use battery to trigger one-hit samples like this. So let's say I find another one. Let's use that one. Then simply drag and drop it to a cell here in battery so I can trigger that. Where are we? There, on my MIDI keyboard. Now, here are my 3 favorite things about Clap Pack Deluxe 2. 1, that you get access to all the samples in organized folders for quick and easy drag and drop. 2, the range of vibe and character you get access to, from studio dry to big ambience, from solo to groups, and from very light and snappy to big and wide sounds. And 3, the focus and simplicity. I mean, this is all about claps and snaps, and personally, I am a fan of plugins and libraries that are very focused like this one. The next instrument I want to show you is called Suspended Cymbals by Waves Factory, and this library is even more focused because it's all about cymbals. So let's go into the DAW, and I have already loaded it up here, and let's listen to some sounds first. So that was the first cymbal. As you saw yourself from the interface, it actually shows when a cymbal is hit. And the great thing about this, one of the greatest thing in my opinion, is the mapping down here, because each cymbal has the same style of mapping. So when you have learned it, you can use it on any of these different cymbals. So you hear some hits here, you hear a roll on this key, for example, and you can use the mod wheel to control the dynamics of the roll. Or, of course, you can use like single hits to make your own style of roll. And I think the sound and clarity is so amazing in these cymbals. And you can see the interface is super simple. You get this little arrow where you can control the volume, pan, and pitch for each of the cymbals. No clutter here. Got into the mixer where you can change the microphones, close, mid, and far, the width, volume for each. There's a reverb here, convolution reverb, EQ, and envelope settings. And then you have some more advanced settings in here. Now, here are my 3 favorite things about suspended cymbals. 1. The user interface. It is simple and efficient. Instead of clutter, you get focus and clarity. And personally, I really like the look of it. 2. The key mappings. This might seem like a minor thing, but I actually love when the developer puts some thought into the mapping of each key. And 3. The dynamics. The amount of control over the dynamics is amazing, and more importantly, the sound of the rolls and dynamic variation you create in a performance truly shines in this instrument, in my opinion. I want to thank you so much for watching the entire show. You are amazing. Now it's time for you to take action. I invite you to become a member of Professional Composers right now if you have not already. Simply go to professionalcomposers.com and sign up for free today. And always remember, you have the power to create a successful career in music with hard work and 100% dedication. My name is Mike, and I will see you in the next video.